channel, Knitting by the Bay. My name is Christy, and this is my little podcast where I like to talk about all things crafty, mostly knitting, sometimes cross stitch, sometimes sewing or baking, whatever creative things I'm into at the moment. I live near Georgian Bay in the Snowbelt in Ontario, and today that when I'm posting this video is December the 1st, and this week we had our first actual real snowfall. Which was really lovely. We have, everything is white outside, it looks beautiful, and it's one of my favorite times of the year. So I really enjoy this. I really look forward to the first snowfall of the year. So yesterday, because of all the snow that we got, they canceled the buses to the schools in our neighborhood, but they don't close down the school, so the school's still open. And normally I will send my son to school because he has fun. They usually like play games or they watch movies, and it's, you know, he's an only child, so it's kind of fun for him to go and play with his friends. But yesterday I thought I will keep him home, and we played in the snow. We had some hot chocolate and watched some holiday movies and just got really cozy, and it was a nice day. But today he's back at school, so I'm able to sit down with you guys and talk about some of the crafts that I've been doing this month. I have 0 finished objects to show you that are knitting related, and there's a reason for that, which I will talk to you about after. But I do have one finished cross stitch, actually two finished cross stitches to show you, and also a dress that I've been working on, which is all of the sewing is done. I just need to make some buttonholes on it. So I'll show you that, as well as I do have 3 whips on the go, and I have one future cast on that I'm thinking about knitting and getting the yarn for. So I'm excited about that, and I want to talk to you about that. So the reason I have no finished knitting objects to share with you today is because I have sort of gone down a rabbit hole looking into all of the reasons why I don't wear my finished objects. I really want to this year start building a wardrobe of handmade items, but I want them to be pieces that I'm actually going to wear. And I feel like for the past little while, all of the things I finished turned out exactly how I wanted them to. I didn't really have a lot of problems with anything. They all worked out. Everything turned out great, but I don't wear any of it. And I started to think about why I'm not wearing these items, because I feel like it's such a waste of time and a waste of yarn. I'm not really a process knitter. I am more of a knitter because of the finished object that I'm going to have at the end. I do enjoy, of course, I enjoy knitting and I find it very relaxing, but what excites me is that I'm going to have that to wear and have in my wardrobe, and that makes me the most excited. So if I'm not wearing it, that really disappoints me. And so I wanted to sort of research the reasons why I don't choose those items when I'm getting dressed. And so that led me down the Kibbe body types road, and I started looking into that, and I don't know if you know anything about it, and I'm not an expert on it, and I've only been researching sort of where I fall in those categories. But there are tons of YouTube videos about it if you're interested in looking it up. But anyway, it was invented by a man named David Kibbe in the 80s, and it just talks about your body type and how it fits on the yang and yin scale, which yang or yang, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, is tall, sharp, or blunt, and yin is soft, rounded, and short, and it's sort of where you fit in that scale. And I really like this idea because it's not really saying that there is one beautiful body type and that's what we should all try to achieve. It's basically saying that all bodies are beautiful, And you can dress your body to accentuate those different characteristics that are you and dress in more harmony to your body, not trying to fit into like a typical whatever they're saying is the ideal body shape. So I liked that, because I think when you try and force yourself to look or appear a certain way, it can not flow properly or look sort of harsh and not look like you. And what is the point in that? So I've been sort of looking into that, and then looking into the different clothing options that I could make that fit into my category, and the different styles of sweaters, the different sewing patterns that would work for my body type and my wardrobe. And then that also led me to talking about or looking into my seasonal color palette as well, because I think that the yarns that I choose in the past haven't really been my colors. And that might be a part of why I'm not reaching for those items. As well, I think once you figure out what your seasonal color palette is, all of your knits will sort of work together, and then you will have more of a capsule wardrobe in a way, where you could choose this item will match with this item because they all belong to your own seasonal color palette. And it was funny, when I was starting to look into this, I actually was watching Cardigan's knits, her one of her last YouTube videos, and she had a color analysis expert on her podcast to talk about this exact thing, and how, you know, choosing your own colors will make your items more wearable in the end, because you're going with your color palette. I think a lot of the time when I'm choosing yarns, I'm looking at the ball of yarn and I think, this is a beautiful color. I love this color. I would love to have this color. Where instead of thinking, does this color really suit me? I mean, I know there's certain ones that I wouldn't go for. I don't wear orange, or, you know, a mustard yellow doesn't look good on me, but you can really find the right like shade of those colors. Every single color is in that color palette, but they're just different lightness or darkness, or muted or saturated or whatever. So once you find those colors, you know, you can start looking for yarns that would match your skin tone or whatever better. And that goes for the same for choosing knitting patterns. Sometimes I will just look at the pattern and think, that's a beautiful pattern. It looks beautiful on the models that are wearing it, and I want to have that too. Instead of thinking, does that really suit my body type? I also just want to say that if you don't care about any of that, I think knitting should bring you joy. So who cares if that's not for you? If you want to knit something because you love it and it brings you joy, or you want to use a color that the same thing, you just love that color, then do it. Because this hobby should be fun, and it should make you happy and not make you stressed out about any of this stuff. But I just feel like I am kind of wasting my time, wasting my money on things that I'm not actually going to wear in the end. And they just sit in my closet, and then I stress about, what am I going to do? Do I give it away to somebody? Does it just sit there and take up space? I don't want that to happen. So yeah, I wanted to put more thought into my choices now going into the new year, what I'm knitting and what I'm making and what will actually add to my wardrobe for me. So that being said, I will go into my whips, and I'm going to talk about what's going on with those. So my first one that I showed you before is called the Kigi Pullover, and it's by Yamagara. And it is beautiful. I'm not finished. I have just started on one of the sleeves, but I finished the front or the body of it. And this is absolutely beautiful, this yoke. It has baubles, it has lace, it has cables, it has everything. And then this part here is where you put your buttons, and I think it's got 3 buttonholes here, and you do it up like that. I made a little mistake here. You can probably see this bar going across. I did it, somehow I did it backwards. I did it the wrong side. So you can see that bar, but honestly, I don't think it really matters. And I think this pattern is absolutely beautiful. Very well written, easy to understand, no problems at all. It did feel like it took a very long time once I was done the yoke to like get the rest of the body done, because it's just stockinette stitch. And it's fingering weight. So it was it took a while. And I stopped because I don't know that this is really something I'm going to wear that's going to really suit me. I think it's maybe a bit too fussy and fancy for me to wear on a regular basis, or I don't know. I think it's really beautiful, but I don't know. I just don't really know that it's really my thing. It definitely doesn't go with my Kibbe body type category, but not that that matters. I just really think that I'm not going to reach for it to wear it. So I put it aside, and I thought I'm going to think about it a little bit more. I've gotten so far on it that it would be a shame not to finish it, but I don't know. And it's fingering weight held with Mohair, and I thought about frogging it, and then I also read that when it's the two held together, the Mohair can make it very hard to frog it, and I'm not sure that I really want to do that. So I think I'm just going to put it aside for a little bit and think about it. I think the color is definitely one of my seasonal colors, so I think that part of it is great. It's just, I think the style is just a little bit too, fussy maybe for me. So I don't know. I'm going to take a little break and maybe come back to that. I'm not really sure. And then my next one is called the Un Sweater by Fiskum Sunde. And I talked about this one already, that I was going to be making this one. So I've gotten pretty far on this one, and I made this one quite oversized. And it's probably, I did like 2 sizes up from what I would normally have made, because looking into the Kibbe body types again, for my particular category, it's a lot of more oversized sweaters, oversized knitwear, which is really great right now because a lot of patterns are like that. But I normally would knit something that's more fitted. That's just sort of what I've done in the past. And so with this sweater, I wanted to try something different and see how I feel about it. So I ended up casting it on 2 sizes bigger than what I normally would do. And so yeah, I'm just starting on the first sleeve right now. It has a very long ribbing here, which is actually a slit in the side. And I love that because you can wear, like I imagine wearing a striped shirt underneath it, and I think that will look really nice. Yeah, and it has this was my first time doing one of these folded down collars, and I absolutely love it. I think it turned out so well. And yeah, I've been loving this pattern. Yeah, I think it's been great. And it's a worsted weight yarn, so it's knitting up pretty quickly. And yeah, I think when I go to block it, I think I have to stretch this out and block that so that because I don't like how it's pinching up here, obviously, with ribbing. So, and then it will be just a very oversized sort of boxy sort of sweater. So I'm excited for that. Again, this is one of my colors, which I had chosen this yarn way before I started looking into any of this, and it just turns out that it is one of my colors. So I think that will be more wearable, a more wearable sweater in my wardrobe. So I'm excited about that one. And then a third whip that I've got going on right now is it's called the Tonight Top, and it's by Lily Kate France, and it's a sleeveless turtleneck top, so like a turtleneck or mock neck top, and this is how much I have so far. And I'm knitting this one out of Knitting for Olive Merino in the color Midnight, and this one, it looks like black or maybe like a charcoal color, but it's actually a very, very dark deep navy, that's sort of dusty navy kind of color, which I really like, and I think that goes in my palette as well. So I'm excited to wear this. This is, yeah, like I said, sleeveless with a mock neck or turtleneck, and just a basic top. I think that I could wear underneath sweaters for the winter, or I can wear it in the summer because it's very, very lightweight. And I think that's lovely. I did knit one of Lily Kate France's patterns, the underlace top, in the summer, and I absolutely loved that top so much. It's so pretty. So I decided I wanted to make another one of her patterns, which this one is very much like the underlace top. You just obviously won't be doing any of the lace, and you put you'll pick up stitches to do a turtleneck after. So I think that's very, very nice pattern. So I'm excited about that one. And then, yeah, that's it for my works in progress. So I don't know, I'm going to think about the Kigi pullover. Again, it's nothing to do with the pattern. It's absolutely beautiful. It knit up so nicely, and I'm so happy with it. So I definitely recommend that pattern to you if that's your style. And yeah, that's about it for those. My last knitting object that I wanted to talk about is the one that I am looking to cast on soon, I hope. I'm just waiting to get closer to finishing my Un sweater, and then I will order some yarn for that. But it's the Champagne Cardigan by Petit Knit, and that's sort of like a oversized V-neck cardigan, and very, like, it looks very I don't want to say basic, but it just looks like something that will go with everything. It's, you know, casual kind of cardigan. It looks very pretty. I don't know, I've been eyeing that for a while, and I had some leftover yarn from my Sadotna crop, and this is Cascades 220 Heathers, and it's the color Westpoint Blue Heather, and I really love this color, and I'm starting to look more into blue, which is a color I never ever wore before. I would never buy anything blue. I'm very much more like black or gray, or you know, sometimes different pinks and stuff, but never blue. And I think it's actually one of my colors, so I don't know, I'm really starting to open my mind to more of these different colors. And yeah, so I think I'm going to order, I just have this much left of it, so I think I'm going to order some more of this to knit my champagne cardigan in. So she says to use, I think you're using, oh, I can't remember what her recommended yarns are, but you're holding one yarn with a Mohair yarn, but this one is just a worsted weight. I think it equals a worsted weight yarn is what she says, and this is a worsted weight yarn. So I think this will be good. I don't want the Mohair. I realized after I was knitting the Kigi with this Mohair, it's a different type, and I'll link that one down below, but it is a bit scratchy, and I don't love that. And I don't think I would wear that. So I'm not really sure about the knitting for Olive Silk Mohair, how scratchy that one is, but I think I'm just going to do it in just the worsted weight, and then I know it'll be fine. It won't bother me. So I'm excited about that. What else do I want to say? My sewing project that I was working on is a shirt dress, and it's a McCalls pattern, which is McCalls 8031, and it's a shirt dress, like I said. And I made it in this fabric that I purchased before looking into my seasonal colors, and I'm not really sure if this is one of my colors or not, because there is a sort of bluish green in the color palette. If anyone's interested, I've come up with I'm a Soft Summer. So there is like this sort of bluish green muted sort of color that I think is pretty close to this one. It's hard to show you on here, but I don't know. When I put it up to me, I think it looks all right. But anyway, I had the fabric ordered already. It's bottle green poplin fabric. And I'll show you, it's very hard to see, and I knocked something over. Yeah, it has this pleat sort of thing in the back. It's very basic with collar on it, and then it's going to have buttons up here, and it has a belt that you can make for the waist. And I will put a picture up of what it looks like so far on me. I am still having trouble with my sewing machine. I actually have two sewing machines, and one's mine, and then one was my grandmother's, and when she passed away, I asked if I could have that one because my grandma and I have had a lot of things in common, I think, as far as being crafty. Like, she did every single craft. She knit, she sewed, she did everything. And we're pretty much the only two in our family that are into crafts. So yeah, that's something that we had in common, and I wanted to have her sewing machine. And so, like, I'll use it. I prefer mine to use normally, but I was having trouble with my buttonholer on the machine. It wasn't working, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll try my grandmother's machine and see if it works on there. And then hers, I couldn't get the pedal to work. And then I was thinking, should I get my machine serviced? Should I buy a new pedal for my grandmother's machine? I don't know. They both were going to end up being about the same price. So I ended up buying a new pedal for my grandmother's machine, and then went to try the buttonholer, and it worked right at the beginning to do part of it, and then it stopped working and wouldn't complete the buttonhole, and it's so frustrating. So I know at this point that it's something to do, like, it can't be both machines not working properly. It has to be something that I'm doing, and I've spent so much time watching YouTube videos and trying to fix it, and I've done absolutely everything that they're saying to do, and it still is not working. So I think to finish this dress, I'm going to have to make the buttonholes myself by hand, which takes quite a while and doesn't look as good as when you use the machine, obviously, but I think that's probably what I'm gonna have to do. So I don't know, it's very frustrating, and now it's got me thinking that any future sewing patterns are gonna have to be with zippers or just no buttons, because I don't really like doing them by hand. Yeah, so that's it for sewing. I did get a lot of patterns this past month, just trying to look for things that will fit in with my Kibbe body type and the different lines that he suggests for your body type. So I have a big collection now of patterns that I'm going to be making, but a lot of them are more for the summertime, a lot of different dresses and stuff that I want to make. So I'm excited for that, and I think yeah, in the new year, I'm going to do a little bit more sewing and stuff. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about is some of my cross stitch projects, and I'm just gonna have a sip of water. So this month I have been working on one of my ornaments, which every year I have a cross stitch shop, and it's called Dearsuki Crafts. And every year I try to give away a free pattern that people can make, usually around Christmas, but I do it at different times of the year as well. But so last year's was this Nutcracker. I made a new one for this year because last year I made it and I ended up making one, giving it to my son's teacher for Christmas, and then making another one for myself, and then my aunt scooped it up because she wanted it. So I didn't end up making one for myself for last year. So this year I made another one, and I just put this year's date on it. And then for this year's free giveaway pattern, I did another Nutcracker, but this one is the Nutcracker mouse. And yeah, so that one is available, and if you're interested in making your own, you don't have to make it this small. This one I made on a very like high count fabric. It's 28 count fabric, and yeah, so it turns out really small so that I could put it on this little wooden sled ornament. But you can make yours whatever size depending on what fabric you have, and you could frame it, or you could make a different sort of ornament, whatever. But it is free to download, and you can stitch it up yourself. And yeah, like I said, I'll link the pattern down below. And then, yeah, I'll show you another one that I did. This one I actually did last year. This one is the winter sampler, and with this one I just put our last name here at the bottom, but if you get the pattern it actually says winter down here, and I have one of these patterns for every different season. So, and then I also have, like, you can buy all 4 seasons in one pattern, and you get 3 patterns for the, no, you get 4 patterns for the price of 3. But anyway, this one I made into like a little pillow. And that's an ornament for our tree, and I really like doing these every year because then we have like a little keepsake every year for our Christmas tree. And they also make really really nice gifts for people if you wanted to put their name on it. I made one for my mom last year, and it was actually 4 dogs, like Christmas dogs, and I put her and my stepdad's last name on it, and the date. And yeah, it's a nice little gift to make for somebody. It doesn't cost a lot to make one of these, and yeah, it's something that they can keep, and I think that's really a nice handmade gift. And so yeah, if you're interested in downloading it, I put the link down below, and I'm also going to have a giveaway which will start today. And it will be over on my Dearsuki Crafts Instagram account, and I'll put the link to that as well. But I'm going to have a giveaway where you can win a kit to make the Nutcracker mouse ornament. So it will come with everything needed. So you get the little wooden sled, and you get all of the DMC floss to make the ornament. And so you get the full skeins of floss. You'll get the hoop, which is a 4-inch hoop, and some of the 28 count oatmeal Aida cloth. And you'll get you need some cardboard, you need some felt, and an embroidery needle as well. And then you get some ribbon to finish off the trim around it. And then it will come with your pattern, instructions on how to stitch it, and instructions on how to assemble the sled. So you're going to need to have some like white craft glue as well as a glue gun to put it together. So that doesn't come in the kit. But yeah, I will link my Instagram below, and then it will be starting today on December the 1st and run through the weekend, and then I'll announce the winner on Monday. So hopefully you guys want to join the contest and see if you can win the kit. But if not, if you don't want to enter the contest or whatever, you can just download the pattern and make it on your own, and yeah, have your own Nutcracker mouse ornament or picture, however you decide to finish it. It's just a nice little holiday stitch. It doesn't take very long to do. And yeah, I think it turns out really cute. So I hope you like that. And I think actually that's all I have to talk about today. But thank you so much for joining me. Oh, I did want to mention that I do have a video on my channel as well, if you haven't seen that yet, on how to assemble this. And how to, like, what supplies you need and everything to make your own little Nutcracker mouse ornament. So if you want, you can head over to that video and watch it. I'll link that as well down below. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you got some inspiration for some crafts, and yeah, had fun following along with me today. So thanks a lot. I'll see you in a few weeks. Bye.